Hi, I'm Helena, and today I want to talk to you guys about disaster preparedness, especially disaster preparedness that involve our most vulnerable population, our children. Our kids are extremely dependent on the adults in their life to provide safety and security. They look at us for guidance on their everyday living, so preparing for disaster should be a regular core interaction that all of us have with our kids. We are responsible that they understand the impacts and the severity what a disaster can have. And to help the parent, technology fortunately is helping us to kind of break it down on their level. There are great websites that really interact well with our children and kind of take it to their level. One of those websites that I absolutely adore is sponsored by FEMA, and it is www.ready.gov/kids. This website has several categories from making a plan, building a kit, knowing the facts, and getting involved. And all of those are presented on a child's level that are cartoon characters, games, really easy to read, disaster preparedness. For example, how to build a kit, what should be in a 72-hour kit, an emergency kit that you should have in your home. Knowing the facts about disasters, once a child clicks on that category, they can see how the certain disasters happen and what happens with those disasters, so they can be more familiar with sounds, like when a tornado siren goes off, what that really means. That website is a great website to kind of take it to the child's perspective, that the parents can actually they can interact with the child in that website. Another great local area resource that I really like and I am a big advocate of is our local Red Cross, and you can find them at www.redcross.org, and their number is 205-795-8700. And not only do they provide resources for disaster preparedness, but this agency is a great resource after the disaster, for shelter, for food, for other resources that the parents and the children might need. When we look at disaster preparedness, we must take in consideration several things that our vulnerable population might be affected, such as the location of the child, whether they're at home with us, at school, or at a friend's home. Our young children need to know addresses, phone numbers, who do they call, names of relatives or the adults in their lives that need to be notified. We also need to look at the health of the child. Does the child have any kind of intimate health needs, like asthma or autism, or are they confined to a wheelchair? Are there any language barriers? We need to take all that in consideration when preparing for a disaster. And lastly, but definitely not least, is the aftermath. Many times the actual event is so fast approaching that we don't have time to be in shock about it. But the aftermath is really where the psychological impact comes from. And so we need to be prepared how to deal with the aftermath. And we need to have resources identified for our children who will help them with those psychological needs in case they need it. And overall, we are responsible for our kids' safety, for our kids' growth, and I encourage everyone to take the time out and go to those two websites to play those interactive games, to make a kid, to be prepared, to know the facts, and to definitely get involved, not just after the disaster, but prepared before and get involved before, by volunteering, by knowing where your resources are. Before I let you guys go, I want to introduce you to my most vulnerable population, my son, and this is Elijah. And Elijah, are you ready for a disaster?
Yes.
We are ready for a disaster. We are going to do what we actually just talked about. We're going to play the games and interact and make sure that we are ready to go when the next disaster happens. Y'all have a good night. Till the next time. You gonna say bye?
Bye bye.